Alright, so we're back from the glass box method, and just as a review, if this happens to be our object up here, if we're standing over here and looking at it from the front, okay, there's our front, here's our right and left are based off of where our front is, and then we have a top looking from the ceiling down and bottom, and then the opposite of front is rear. And when we lay that out, if we were to put this object in our glass box, you would have front, top, and bottom line up. Notice how the width remains the same, and those are lined up, okay? And then across left to right, we have our front. We twist it one way, we get the right. We twist it the other way, we get the left. And then all the way in reverse, we have rear. So top, front, and bottom line up vertically. And then rear, left, front, and right line up horizontally. So you see you've got your height shown right here all the way across. You have your width shown here all the way across in all of those. And then your depth comes from your right and your left side views, as well as your top and your bottom views. So let's go ahead and start with example problem 1. Alright, so I'm going to walk you through and we're going to name those views one more time. So what's that? If this is the front view, okay, here's our object in our glass box up here in the upper right. We're going to call this the front view, so that's looking at it just like this in that direction. That's our front. So what's this up here called? Correct, that's your top view, okay? So how about this view right there? That would be our right side view, okay? Notice that this matches up with what you see from this point of view. Okay, that's our right side view. How about the next one over? That one would be our rear view. This would be our left side view. And the last one down there is our bottom view. So let's take a second and look at these. I told you that the front and the rear would kind of be mirror images of each other. They are, except for you'll notice there's some difference in lines, and we'll talk about those later on. Same thing with your top and your bottom. Again, very similar, just mirrored, and as well as your left and your right side. So what are the differences between left side and right side views? Well, they're mirrored, and you'll notice over here we've got a solid line, and over here we have a dashed line. So just a little bit of differences, okay? Different line types. How about your top, bottom, and your front, rear? Again, little small differences and differences in line types, okay? So which views have the least amount of hidden or dashed lines? That would be your top and your front views. Typically, we do that on purpose so that our front view should be the most important. It shouldn't have any hidden features. We should be able to see the maximum amount of detail about that particular part or piece based on how we choose to rotate it inside of our glass box. We get to pick what we call the front, and then everything else is based upon that. Notice again, you'll see your height going all the way across. It matches up in these views. Same thing with your width, going vertically right here. And then you'll notice this kind of donut shape that goes around. That is showing us the depth of this particular piece. So we want to be considerate of view orientation and how we take that object and put it in our glass box. So here is an example right here of, well, you know, technically it's in the glass box, but that's a little bit better. We've changed the orientation of how we put that object in the box, and that way we've got a little bit, we've got flat lines, we have circles rather than over here these would be ellipses. Just a little bit cleaner to place it in the box like that. So we want to use the minimum number of views to describe this particular object. So here we have a front, a top, a right side. Do we really need this left side over here? No, we do not. So what we could do is cut this out. Down here we've got an example of this object, okay? We want to pick the best views. So we technically could call this the front. That would be the top. Here's the left, here's the right. Do we really need that? Well, not really, because it looks exactly like this view over here. So we want to make sure that we pick the best views of that object so that we can truly understand what it looks like. So So that's when we talk about necessary views. Drawings only need particular views. You don't have to show all 6. Typically you're going to show 3. Some things only need 2. Some drawings actually, or some things only need 1 drawing. You want to choose views that have show those essential shapes, and typically our front view has the least number of hidden lines or parts and features that you can't see.